Hello there, this is Being God's Obedient Servant channel. Uh, Today's study will be Genesis chapter 45 and 46. 45 is a fairly short one. We're still talking about Joseph, and so a lot of this story is pretty straightforward. There's not really a lot to decipher here. It says mostly just knowing the story, and it's going to lead you more into more information later on. And in 46, there's the genealogy, where we're going to be talking about the sons of Jacob, which is now called Israel, which I told you before. Later on, you find out these are the 12 tribes of Israel. This is the 12 sons. So we're going to go ahead and jump right on in here. And don't know how long this one's going to take, but it shouldn't take too long. Probably going to have more time tripping over pronouncing some of these names. I don't know if I said before, I got one Bible. I should be breaking that Bible out and reading along with it, but it takes the names and kind of breaks them down so you can pronounce them easier. But as I said, like, pronouncing the names correctly, I don't think it's really all that important. Mostly it's knowing what God's teaching us from these. So, go ahead and jump right on in here. Said we left off that Joseph was confronting his brethren that now brought Benjamin to him, and so he was now it was they were fixing to go into. Let's just jump right on in here and just read this. So chapter 45, verse 1. Then Joseph could not refrain himself before all them that stood by him, and he cried, cause every man to go out from me. And there stood no man with him, while Joseph made himself known unto his brethren. And he wept aloud, and the Egyptians and the house of Pharaoh heard. And Joseph said unto his brethren, I am Joseph, doth my father yet live? And his brethren could not answer him, for they were troubled at his presence. And Joseph said unto his brethren, Come near to me, I pray you. And they came near, and he said, I am Joseph your brother, whom ye sold into Egypt. Now therefore be not grieved, nor angry with yourselves, that ye sold me hither, for God did send me before you to preserve life. So I will pause there for a second. As you can hear what Joseph is saying, he's letting his brethren know, hey, even though you sinned against me years ago, do not feel bad for it, for God used it, needed it to happen. God helped, wanted it to happen, so you could be there so he could preserve life, so he could save people's lives. And a lot of times Christians, when you're following God, your life takes a turn for the worse. And I'm going to give you a fair warning. If you're following God and you do not have trials and tribulations happening, you might want to question if you're actually following God. Because, if you're a true Christian following the Lord, Satan is going to work on you hard trying to, discourage you and bring you away from God. Badly, he's going to mess with you. And for training purposes, God's going to let that happen. Like, how the saying goes, and even in the prayer, God do not bring me to temptation. And the teachings go that God can't bring you to temptations, but he can allow the temptations to come to you. But God won't tempt you himself. But as I said, God uses things like this, calamities and problems and trials and tribulations, to train you and condition you and to humble you. So I used to get mad at God about it too, because I'm sort of like, I didn't sign up for this, but in actuality, I didn't read the Word as good as I should have been, and yes, I did. Yes, These are things that when, if you're being led to the Lord and you give your life to God, these are some of the things they don't really tell you. As part of being a Christian is, hey, be prepared for this. Your life's going to start to suck. It says, but it will lead to good things later. Because as we're going to learn, following God, you have to be humble. You can't be materialistic. You can't be selfish. Many things you can't be. And God uses that to make you a better person. Because as God teaches, we are not to, try to hold on to things and possessions of this world for, when it's all said and done, everything on this earth is going to be made anew. So everything that's currently here won't be here then. So, but anyway, so said, this is one of the lessons here that you're going to see parts like, in stories throughout the Bible like this. So we're going to continue on, verse 6. For these 2 years hath the famine been in the land, and yet there are 5 years in which there shall neither be earing nor harvest. And God sent me before you to preserve you a prosperity in the earth, and to save your lives by a great deliverance. So now it was not you that sent me hither, but God, and he hath made me a father to Pharaoh, and Lord of all his house, and a ruler throughout all the land of Egypt. Haste ye, and go up to my father, and say unto him, Thus saith my son Joseph, God hath made me Lord of all Egypt. Come down unto me, tarry not. And thou shalt dwell in the land of Goshen, and thou shalt be near unto me, thou and thy children, and thy children's children, and thy flocks, and thy herds, and all that thou hast. And there will I nourish thee, for yet there are 5 years of famine, lest thou and thy household and all that thou hast come to poverty. And behold, your eyes see, and the eyes of my brother Benjamin, that it is my mouth that speaketh unto you. And ye shall tell my father of all my glory in Egypt, and of all that ye have seen, and ye shall haste and bring down my father hither. And he fell upon his brother Benjamin's neck and wept, and Benjamin wept upon his neck. Moreover, he kissed all his brethren and wept upon them, and after that his brethren talked with him. And the fame thereof was heard in Pharaoh's house, saying, Joseph's brethren are come, and it pleased Pharaoh well and his servants. And Pharaoh said unto Joseph, Say unto thy brethren, This do ye, lade your beast, and go, get you unto the land of Canaan. And take your father and your households, and come unto me, and I will give you the good of the land of Egypt, and ye shall eat the fat of the land. Now thou art commanded, this do ye. Take you wagons out of the land of Egypt for your little ones and for your wives, and bring your father and come. Also regard not your stuff, for the good of all the land of Egypt is yours. And the children of Israel did so, and Joseph gave them wagons according to the commandment of Pharaoh, and gave them provision for the way. To all of them he gave each man changes of raiment, but to Benjamin he gave 300 pieces of silver and 5 changes of raiment. Little favoritism going on there, can't you see? His younger brother. And to his father he sent after this manner 10 asses laden with the good things of Egypt, and 10 she-asses laden with corn, and bread, and meat for his father by the way. So he sent his brethren away, and they departed, and he said unto them, See that ye fall not out by the way. Now we're going to pause here just for a second about this, saying fall by the way. You're going to hear this a lot in the Bible. I've mentioned this before, about being cast out. You'll hear fall by the wayside. Jesus uses that in New Testament, talking about, seed when it's thrown into good soil, bad soil, onto the walking path and stuff, fall by the wayside. Um, most of this means death. When when you fall by the way, it means something happens to you, and you're instead of being on the path you was on, now it's like you come into calamity. Um, so and so I wanted to kind of give you a little heads up. We're going to hear this again later. I'm probably going to forget I told you about this now and say it again then. So, but anyways, I said studying the Bible, studying the Bible. Some things, it's just when you first read it, it's like, what the heck is, fall not out by the way. It's like, what? So just so you understand it, it means like do not fall by the wayside. Do not get trampled underfoot. Don't perish. Don't get harmed. So we're going to continue on, verse 25. And they went up out of Egypt and came into the land of Canaan unto Jacob their father, and told him, saying, Joseph is yet alive, and he is governor over all the land of Egypt. And Jacob's heart fainted, for he believed them not. And they told him all the words of Joseph which he had said unto them. And when he saw the wagons which Joseph had sent to carry him, the spirit of Jacob their father revived. And Israel said, It is enough. Joseph my son is yet alive. I will go and see him before I die. Chapter 46. And so here we're going to be doing the genealogy here shortly. I'm not a fond of these, but these are kind of being known later, so if you're part of the 12 tribes of Israel or not. So this is kind of important if you're from of Jewish descent. For us, it's not really that important because as Christians, we're just grafted into the tree of the Israelites, but we're not descendants of the Israelites. So here we go. It's chapter 46, verse 1. And Israel took his journey with all that he had and came to Beersheba and offered sacrifices unto the God of his father Isaac. And God spake unto Israel in the vision of the night and said, Jacob, Jacob. And he said, Here am I. And he said, I am God, the God of thy father. Fear not to go down into Egypt, for I will there make of thee a great nation. I will go down with thee into Egypt, and I will also surely bring thee up again. And Joseph shall put his hand upon thine eyes. And Jacob rose up from Beersheba, and the sons of Israel carried Jacob their father and their little ones, and their wives in the wagons which Pharaoh had sent to carry him. And they took their cattle and their goods which they had gotten in the land of Canaan, and came into Egypt, Jacob and all his seed with him, his sons and his sons' sons with him, his daughters and his sons' daughters, and all his seed brought he with him into Egypt. And these are the names of the children of Israel which came into Egypt, Jacob and his sons, Reuben, Jacob's firstborn. And the sons of Reuben, Hanok, and Phalu, and Hezron, and Carmi. And the sons of Simeon, Jemuel, and Jamin, and Ohad, and Jashin. I want to say Jashin. Let's go with that one. And Zohar and Shaul, the son of a Canaanish woman. And the sons of Levi, Gershon, Kohath, and Merari. Let's go with that one. And the sons of Judah, and Onan, and Shelah, and Pharez, and Zerah. But and Onan died in the land of Canaan, and the sons of Pharez were Hezron and Hamul. And the sons of Issachar, Tola, and Phuvah, and Job, and Shimron. And the sons of Zebulun, Sered, and Elon, and Jaleel. These be the sons of Leah, which she bare unto Jacob in Padanaram, with his daughter Dinah. All the souls of his sons and his daughters were 30 and 3. And the sons of Gad, Xiphon, won't say the Xiphon, no, Xiphion, and Haggai, Shuni, and Esbon, Eri, and Arodai, and Areli. And the sons of Asher, Jimnah, and Ishua, and Isui, and Beriah, and Sarah, their sister, and the sons of Berai, Heber, and Malchiel. These are the sons of Zilpah, whom Laban gave to Leah his daughter, and these she bare unto Jacob, even 16 souls. The sons of Rachel, Jacob's wife, Joseph and Benjamin. And unto Joseph in the land of Egypt were born Manasseh and Ephraim, which Asenath, the daughter of Potipharah, priest of On, bare unto him. And the sons of Benjamin were Bela, and Becher, and Ashbel, Gera, and Naaman, or is it Naaman? I think it's Naaman. Ei, and Rosh, Mopin, and Huppim, and Ard. Now, I want to pause here for a second because, when I first started reading this, I always thought Benjamin was still small, not married and already had children and stuff, since he wasn't allowed to go with his brothers at first because Jacob was afraid of losing him. But yeah, this kind of throws you off when you realize that he already has a bunch of children. So, anyways, continue on, verse 22. These are the sons of Rachel which were born to Jacob. All the souls were 14. And the sons of Dan, Hushim. And the sons of Naphtali, Jazil, and Guni, and Jezer, and Shilem. These are the sons of Bilhah, which Laban gave unto Rachel, his daughter, and she bare these unto Jacob. All the souls were 7. All the souls that came with Jacob into Egypt, which came out of his loins, besides Jacob's sons' wives, all the souls were 66. So if I remember correctly, remind that 60 is supposed to be 3 times 20. So that's supposed to be 60. So 66 that's traveling, but that's not including the ones already in Egypt. But fixing to find that out. So, verse 27. And the sons of Joseph, which were born him in Egypt, were 2 souls. All the souls of the house of Jacob, which came into Egypt, were 10. So it'd be 70. Sometimes I wonder, why didn't they just say that? But remember, this is a translation from Hebrew, so they do their things a little different. Plus, Hebrew, if I remember correctly, Hebrew reads like Arab, which reads from right to left instead of left to right. If I remember correctly, Hebrew reads just like that. But anyways, continue on, verse 28. And he sent Judah before him unto Joseph to direct his face unto Goshen, and they came into the land of Goshen. And Joseph made ready his chariot and went up to meet Israel his father to Goshen, and presented himself unto him, and he fell on his neck and wept on his neck a good while. And Israel said unto Joseph, Now let me die, since I have seen thy face, because thou art yet alive. And Joseph said unto his brethren and unto his father's house, I will go up and show Pharaoh, and say unto him, My brethren and my father's house, which were in the land of Canaan, are come unto me. And the men are shepherds, for their trade has been to feed cattle, and they have brought their flocks and their herds, and all that they have. And it shall come to pass, when Pharaoh shall call you, and shall say, What is your occupation? That ye shall say, Thy servant's trade hath been about cattle, from our youth even until now, both we and also our fathers, that ye may dwell in the land of Goshen, for every shepherd is an abomination unto the Egyptians. The Egyptians are picky people, aren't they? So, this is, I remember correctly, yep, this is the end of that chapter. So, we made it through another genealogy. Yay. Whew, them names can get to me a little bit. But yeah. So if you like any of these names and you want to have, and you plan on having children later on, here's some possible names if you want to use them. But anyways, as I said, we're still coming into the end of Joseph. The story, talking about, the story of Joseph, still got quite a bit to go. A couple more chapters, a few more chapters. So, I said, hope you enjoyed this reading. If you learned from it, good. If you just enjoyed the story as much as I do, that's good as well. But I'll go ahead and end this one here and get it posted so I can start on to the next one. We'll be doing, of course, chapter 47 next. I know most of y'all can read in order, but hope y'all have a good day, and God bless. Take care.